Is this what all Habanos were intended to be? Let's find out. Welcome into the Evening Draw Lounge, sponsored by Mike's Cigars. Today, we have the Perdomo Habano Maduro. Is this the Habano that every Habano is supposed to be? Let's dive in and find out. So, from the jump, cigars really well put together, just like we would expect from a Perdomo. Solid from head to foot. Beautiful ornate banding. I really like what Perdomo's done here. It gives it that really upscale feel. And we have got this paired with an Oriente Cuban coffee. As Cuban as you can get, let's be honest. Is it really Cuban? Who knows? It came out of a K cup, for goodness sakes. But we'll see how it pairs up. It's got some really chocolatey and almost coffee notes to it. I haven't had any of the coffee yet, but the footer and the wrapper have got a real coffee and chocolate note to it. So the cold draw, it's got some earthiness, it's definitely tobacco, but it's almost a little bit of farm in there. Like, you step out on a farm and you just get that smell and that taste. That's what this reminds me of. And there's a hint of the chocolate there. So I'm a soft flame guy. I like the soft flame light. Yeah, that sweetness almost from the wrapper is right there up front, and it hits you pretty full. I think this one's going to be really enjoyable. I'm expecting a little bit of spice. I'm expecting some of that same sweetness, but at the end of it, it's a cigar. Let's just settle in and see what happens. So I was unaware that this line coming out of Esteli is aged in bourbon barrels for 14 months after its initial maturation process. So that's pretty cool that they impart that flavor. I'm interested to see how that translates into how the cigar smokes as we get down through it. I mean, we're just into it. There's definitely a sweetness, and there's definitely a little bit of wood. It's not really cedar. It doesn't have that kind of like harsh bite. Fully kitted out Perdomo swag today with the ashtray and the coffee cup. Our Cubano coffee over here. Something about that coffee, though, that brings out the sweetness in the cigar. I would expect the burn on this cigar to be consistent based on its age, based on its aging in the lounge humidor here. And I mean, we're half an inch in or so, and it's doing what it intended. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think that if you're like me, regular guy, just trying to enjoy a cigar, you pick up a Maduro and you're like, okay, this is going to be intimidating. It's dark as midnight. That means that it's going to be really overpowering. It's going to be really strong. It's going to be all these things that I'm not ready for. That wrapper doesn't tell the whole story. This one in particular, there's not a huge, overwhelming like rush of weight. It doesn't feel like this cigar is too heavy for 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 9 p.m., golf course, after a steak dinner, somewhere in between. I think that sweetness helps to balance that out a lot. And it's got a really great profile to it. Now, if you stumbled on the Evening Draw channel in the wild hopes that you were going to get some elaborate cigar review where I told you that this Perdomo Habano Maduro tasted of rich soil tilled beneath the Kansas sun next to the antique white oak barn by where grains from 4 different species for some of America's finest whiskeys were aged for decades while kissed with a hint of whatever, and you're in the wrong place because I'm just going to tell you how it tastes. I get some coffee, get some chocolate, and overall I get a very, very expressive but approachable smoke. I know that there's a lot left in this stick and there's a lot of opportunity for it to evolve, and I'm hoping that it does that. Everything I've had from Perdomo is great. There's something very unique about the exhale on the cigar. It leaves behind a very unique flavor that I can't quite put my finger on. If you took a piece of toast, a solid French bread type toast, you coated it in chocolate, you kind of got that chocolate covered wheat kind of thing going. It's not off-putting by any means. It's really good. It's just not what I would have expected. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that shakes out, how that transpires, because it's definitely got some real potential there. Okay, there's a little bit more body as we're getting to about an inch in. It's not quite a Cocoa Puff cereal. It's almost like a chocolate covered Rice Krispie, a little bit of extra sweetener. I don't know what you fine folks do for a living, but I'm presuming that most people here are not professional or, hell, even amateur bakers. So what the hell is a baking spice? Is that cinnamon? I might be able to pinpoint that. Is it nutmeg? What does nutmeg taste like? Who knows? Really? Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If you go to the Google and you ask it what baking spice is, it's a group of warm, sweet, and aromatic spices used to flavor desserts, baked goods, and breakfast items. Cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, allspice. Look, guys, gals, friends, brothers, sisters, neighbors, world citizens, scholars, whatever you're going to call yourself. If you're asking for a place that's going to smoke a cigar and go, that thing screams allspice, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the few seconds that you dove in and let me ramble here, but this is not the place for you. If you are looking for a comparison to this rolled leaf of tobacco and whatever allspice tastes like, then we're just not a good fit. If you want to know it's good or not, this one is a good smoke. Now, granted, we're only into the first third, and it's burning fairly well. Got a little bit of a little unevenness, but not anything too crazy. The wood is not overpowering. The oak is not overpowering. It's really tasty. And I think that's one thing that Perdomo does well. They're not trying to be some of the other manufacturers who put out spice bombs or this or that. They're not going to be overly sweet. They're just going to give you what they give you, and they're going to be like, hey, here we are. Take it or leave it. I'm thankful for that because, quite frankly, this one, I'll take. And I have to admit, there's more toasting than what I typically see in some cigars. Something tells me this cigar would pair really well. If you've got like an Elijah Craig toasted barrel, a really smooth whiskey that's 94 proof, really approachable, but that toasted barrel gives it a smoothness. I think that you could probably bring a Basil Hayden to the party, but it just an 80 proof whiskey that doesn't really do it. Elijah Craig toasted barrel, not the rye, the regular toasted barrel bourbon would be a really good complement to this cigar. I think it would bring out some of that aging because there's definitely that sweeter vanilla oak type pattern. One of my favorite things about the Everyman cigar review. I'm going to pick up on these weird flavors. And being from Louisiana, we can argue nationwide, but it's going to be really hard to beat Popeyes fried chicken. For drive-through chicken, even though they are slower than any other business on the planet, you can go do a store pickup from Lowe's faster than you can get drive-through chicken from Popeyes. But I just got this crazy flavor that immediately took me to the batter from a Popeyes fried chicken leg. And every now and then you'll get these little nuances. You go through and read some of the crazy things that we've come up with at the evening draw. And that's the first time that I've ever had that you smell something or you hear something or you see something or you taste something and it takes you back to a place that immediately some point in life you're like, oh, this. I can tell you, I just took a draw off of this about halfway in, and it took me right to Popeye's fried chicken for some reason, albeit brief, and it was gone again. Finding those little nuggets, those little Easter eggs in these different cigars. I guarantee you there was nobody sitting in his garage starting this business going, one day someone's going to say fried chicken. I'm almost willing to bet there's no one in the Perdomo family, nobody else in the process that went, Popeyes fried chicken. That's what we're going for. But you know what? Sometimes it just happens. And sometimes you just have to embrace it. You just have to be there for it. And right now I'm there for it. And I would be back again for it. And profile has remained fairly consistent. It certainly has abandoned some of that sweetness that was at the beginning. The chocolatey notes are not really there anymore. There's definitely a more wood forward, oak forward flavor profile at this point. Not harsh, not offensive. Just, again, like most Perdomos, it is what it is. It's unapologetic and it knows what it is. So again, as getting close to the second third here, this cigar kind of reminds me of that time that Dennis Green lost himself as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in a press conference, talking about the Bears and a bad loss that Arizona had given up a lead in. And he said, they are who we thought they were. Well, this cigar is who I thought it was. It's consistent. It's a little bold. Not anything overwhelming, but it doesn't try to hide from who it is. It's a Maduro. It's got a little bit of spice. I mean, a subtle amount, not anything too crazy, but that earth, wood, subtle chocolate sweetness that is almost dissipating. It's kind of fading out a little bit. And in this day and age, maybe that's what we all want, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. It just has to be what it is. It stayed unwavering, knowing exactly who it was. Near the end, it's decided to invite maybe a little bit of a vanilla hint after it told its chocolate counterpart to hit the road. The original sweetness from a chocolate is gone, but vanilla has joined the party, and it's like a creamy. I would encourage you to find a Basil Hayden toasted barrel or an Elijah Craig toasted barrel. Those are going to come in at 80 or 94 proof respectively, and the toasted oak vanilla sweetness bourbon profile that's emerged at the end of this cigar. But the consistency is exactly what I would expect when the label says Perdomo. The time spent with you today in the Evening Draw Lounge has been brought to you by Mike's Cigars. So if you would like to find this Perdomo Habano Maduro and other fine tobacco products and cigar accessories, this stick, along with a lot of the products that you've seen today and we'll see in future videos, are available direct to you from some of the best in the business. Excellent customer service, fast shipping, and people who actually care. Go visit our friends at Mike's Cigars. A link to a sampler pack of this stick, along with some other Maduro wrapped classics from Perdomo, will be in the description. So thank you for stopping by the Evening Draw Lounge, brought to you by Mike's Cigars. Please go check us out on all the socials. Subscribe to this channel. Watch some of our other videos that'll be coming up. And most importantly, keep enjoying this thing we call the cigar life. I'm Mr. Evening Draw, and I want to say thank you. We look forward to seeing you again soon.